Start recording again. This time for real. Alright, so you were going to tell me what the situation was.
Yeah.
Recap. So, yeah, we've got Marvel, Autopsy picking up. In terms of date, looks like we're just a couple days after, still after the challenge for the Sorcerer Supreme, which is, and last we did was March 8th and 9th, and we were moving on from there. So, take it away. Recap us.
Alright, so the Irish-based hero, Autopsy, has been living in a bunker in the little city of Dublin because a couple of European countries want to bring him in for questioning concerning possible collusion with the super criminal named the Hobgoblin.
Totally unjustified.
Ralph is actually, in fact, in collusion with the Hobgoblin. So they're not wrong. They don't understand. They don't understand the tricky situation.
You did it for the greater good.
Extenuating circumstances behind this collusion. So Ralph decided it's just better to play it safe and not actually get in front of cameras and police officers. So he's been hiding out, but it's taken a toll on him, relationally, financially, many ways, mentally.
Thankfully, you kind of gotten your situation with your family and everything mostly put right before this all happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
you know.
So he doesn't get to see his family a lot, but he's on good terms with all of them. But he quickly realizes that something has to change, and because now the world knows his secret identity, his family and the people that he cares about are never going to be safe. Because any crazy who has an adamantium sword or laser vision can just take a shot at his family.
Which is why you brought your mother to Ireland, and I believe she's
Right.
probably just moved in. Probably right around now. We haven't really gone in much into those
I think
details,
that-
but
Yeah. And also because Shield is no longer offering protection.
the
Witness protection. for
yeah,
his
the
family.
change in management has really messed them up.
Right. So Ralph has decided to go and seek out a permanent solution to his situation, which after doing a lot of planning, kind of weighing options, he decides to try and find an Infinity Stone, a reality gem, and use that to change the reality that he is a part of. What exactly he's going to do, he has not said, but he's been thinking about this for a long time, and he realizes that Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four is one of the people on Earth that's had the most experience with one of these, and might know where the reality stone can be found. So he sets out, he schedules an appointment with Reed Richards, and he goes to the Baxter Building in New York City. He gets to meet the family. He finds that it's very enjoyable socializing with the Fantastics.
I think you've met them before, right?
Yeah. He had met them, but never gotten a lot of one-on-one time. Well, I guess that's not true because he met them in New York City when his family was doing the road trip a few months before. I think that's where they kind of like got the relationship established. So he goes in, he has a really fun time doing some shadow puppet stuff with is it Violet Richards?
Valeria.
Daughter?
Valerie.
Valerie.
Or was it Valeria?
And Franklin. Valerie's wicked smart, and was not super amused by what Ralph was doing, but he and Franklin hit it off pretty well. And then he sets out into Reed Richards' extra dimensional invention lab and finds Reed. Reed's doing a million things at once, but he kind of listens to what Autopsy's thinking, and he says, well, it was either that or Cosmic Cube, but that got destroyed, and then possibly cutting a deal with Kang and Kang Tech, but they're all kind of tired of messing with Kang, and time travel gets really messy. So Reed said, if you want to pursue the Infinity Stones, Adam Warlock was the last person to have them.
He was involved with this creation, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Ralph knows that information. I don't know if Reed knows that information. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was there when, because I believe it was actually Advanced Idea of Mechanics, AIM, we created Adam Warlock.
Oh, they did. But then he quickly got connected to the evolutionary something.
Yes. And he was, I think we had established, at least in our universe, was that the high evolutionary was one of the people that like provided the technology to AIM. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or they stole it from him or something.
Yeah.
Right. So, but unfortunately, the high evolutionary is a godlike being who has godlike mood swings and has decided that he wants nothing to do with Earth. He's tired of heroes and villains meddling in his business. He wants to be left alone with his new men on Counter Earth. And Reed says, I don't think he's going to be super receptive to you showing up. But, Reed does have a spaceship that will take Ralph to Counter Earth if that's what he wants to do. And as they're finalizing plans, the alarms outside the Baxter building go off, and it's none other than the ultimate foe of the Fantastic Four, Crimson Ghost, the
Red Ghost.
Red Ghost? Is it Red Ghost?
Yeah.
Ghost. It was Red or Crimson Ghost, one of those. Probably Red Ghost.
The Red Ghost, yes.
The crazed Soviet scientist and monkey lover who, with his army of super enhanced apes, decides to attack the Baxter building and launch a missile at New York City. And a giant fight occurs. Johnny Storm shows up and is tangling with a telekinetic orangutan. Ralph and the gorilla trade blows, but then the missile is launched in the hubbub, and Ralph has to Iron Man it into space. He tries to halt the trajectory of the rocket, and it takes all of his will to be able to do it, the strength, and he's able to send it flying into space. And crisis over. That's where we left off.
Yep.
Does that sound right? Sound like everything?
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. I think we had you had been told sort of that you probably would want to get some assistance before you traveled off to Counter Earth. I got a hair in my mouth. That the high evolutionary doesn't accept guests, so it's likely a dangerous proposition.
Right. I think Ralph was going to see if his family wanted to make this a group trip, or at least let clue his family in on what he's doing. He's learned that keeping secrets from them is detrimental to.
As he continues to keep secrets from them.
Well, the secrets that you have to keep to protect them are okay, right? So that's always the case, the justification.
Yep. Okay. So we pick up where we left off then.
Some weird feedback from you.
We pick up where we left off then. We are in the New York with the Fantastic Four. You've just rescued the day. They have thanked you and are beginning their robotic cleanup of the rocket debris, or well, not even the rocket debris, but there was really little mess. The cleanup of their house and getting everything resolved. Waiting for bringing them out so the authorities can pick up the the monkeys and the red ghost.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I think Ralph's gonna have Reed give him a rundown on the spaceship and how to safely operate it, and kind of get Evie synced up with it as like a co-pilot, and do like logistical stuff, bring food, and he's gonna ask him if he has any information about the High Evolutionary, if he can if he's got it, knows anything about this guy's history. He mentioned that he was really smart and kind of what his MO is. But Ralph wants to see if there's anything he can learn about him personally that might help him have a conversation with him, since he is going to be coming into his space.
Well, I mean, he sends you some files. Like the Fantastic Four keep like a profile of everything, so
Sure.
they are sent to you, and he's like, read through the manuals on spaceship operation, but we'll have a robot in place to drive you. And
Okay.
I've sent all the information to Evie. She will process it as well. So
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Reed. So yeah, Ralph's gonna take some, and then I think he goes out on the roof and he makes the call to Victoria and to Futon.
he gives you some, like, in terms of profile information on High Evolutionary. It's pretty big. It does go back into his background stuff. So if you've read the Marvel Wiki page,
Yeah, I was gonna say I read his wiki.
you get basically his origin story. You know, he has a connection to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and that one of his creations is still living on Mount Wundagore, or near Mount Wundagore. Which
Has he gone crazy and killed the cow lady, which was
no. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
But
That was so dumb.
yeah. But the cow lady is on Wundagore, which is the border of Transia and Latveria.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. I wonder if she'd be willing to help us.
She's not any sort of combatant and doesn't really go on adventures.
No, yeah, I guess I was just.
It's like inviting somebody's grandma to fly through space.
I wonder if she would give us like a card and say, "I endorse these people. They're very nice." It'd be kind of weird. She doesn't know who we are. But yeah, Ralph, he's taking notes. He kind of gets scanning over the profile. I think what he takes away, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this. Reading, it took a long time for the High Evolutionary to really become much of a villain. Like, for the most part, he was just like a crazy, brilliant scientist who like really cared about his creations, like a better version of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And then it was only really when his creations kind of got out of control and started threatening other people that then the Avengers or someone stepped in and were like, "Hey, you need to be more responsible." And then he just kind of left. He went and he made Counter Earth and was like, "Hey, I want to be left alone." And then it looks like he had like a huge bout of mental illness. Like his brain started like getting fried by his experiments and stuff, and then he kind of became more dangerous. But I think kind of at its core, it seems like he's a fairly decent person. He did seem very villainous, and
don't know if I would
you know,
take
a lot of stuff.
that take it that way. At his core, really, he's a mad scientist, really.
But he's not like a I want world domination kind of mad scientist.
No, but he's the sort that will like incinerate people who, come into his land. Okay, I was wrong. Mount Wundagore is not in Latveria at all. It's not in the boundary either. It is in Transia.
Is Transia like Marvel Transylvania? No, that place really works. Exists. What's Transia? Just an Eastern European made up country.
Yes.
Okay.
Very tiny place. Mostly uninhabited, with a mystic mountain that nobody recommends you go to.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a. I don't know. Did Cathan? Did he end up getting banished?
You don't know that.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So, I think Ralph kind of takes notes about this guy, and then yeah, and then he's gonna call. He'll call Fulton and he'll call Victoria, um, and he's gonna explain kind of his thought process, where he's at in a pinch. He's not going to say that he cut a deal with Hobgoblin just because he was kind of bound by the contract not to. If he says it out loud, then the deal's off and Hobgoblin's going to kill his family. But I think that he heavily implies that he is bound. That he's just constrained by the enemy's his knowing his identity, and his concern is gonna get everybody killed.
I'm checking on the Cthulhu thing. Okay. Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't. It probably won't really factor in.
unless you go to Mount Wundagore.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's questions on. Okay, so Cthulhu is definitely listed there, mostly because they share information with the Avengers.
Okay.
But there's questions on whether he is still attached to that place or not.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that was a rabbit hole. So yeah, you call Victoria and Futin. Who are you calling first?
Yep.
Victoria is presumably in Dublin,
Victoria, yeah.
and Futin is presumably in his dorms at the Cork Academy.
I think the parents should have a conversation first. So they call Victoria.
It's around midnight in Ireland when you call. So you hear a groggy sort of hello.
Hey, sweetie. Rough.
Oh,
Sorry to wake you up.
what's going on?
Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking. Spent a lot of time thinking. Been down in the basement. And he kind of like breathed in and goes, I don't see our situation in Dublin getting better in any way. I know that you and Futin are capable, but I have to imagine that everybody knowing who you are and your connection to me is exhausting, and I'm worried about you and the rest of the family being killed by.
I would just like to point out you have an extensive rogues gallery. You want me to?
They're all heavy hitters.
You want me to read them off to you?
Let's do it.
All right, and toss in some more if you want. Mummy Queen, Holly McAllister,
Yes.
Hobgoblin, Orca, Rhino, Bullseye, Ironclad, Sludge, Night Terror. I don't know if you fought him.
No.
Green Ronin.
Well, is that?
If we'll say you fought him once during the time skip years, right?
Okay.
Green Ronin.
Okay.
I have another guy who's a low tier. I think we mentioned him once in a post as like a beat up villain. Basher.
Yeah.
Purple Moth. A Ringo Zubira. A Nettleman. Elk.
Yeah. I would add to that. I mean, Ironclad is like I would say the UFOs as a whole. Ralph has fought them.
Yeah, but that's usually a team fight. So I have Ironclad / UFOs, but.
And he and Ironclad kind of have like a antagonistic friendship sort of thing with each other.
Yeah.
But all of Hobgoblin's organization.
Yeah, I didn't list organizations because you've had a couple throwdowns with AIM and the Goblins.
Yeah, the Goblins for sure. But I'm thinking like Hobgoblin had a cast of
Yeah.
a lot of people
Yeah.
there. Not Manchester Black. He's the DC guy. Who's the guy that who's the really powerful telekinetic guy? Who's kind of a villain, and he runs around with Mr. Hyde.
I don't know who you're talking about. I think you're thinking of
His name's he's like I don't know why I'm thinking that he's like Manchester Black, but he's not that guy obviously, but he's like a super powerful Tombstone. The Tombstone.
No. You're thinking of the guy who goes with Juggernaut, right? Black
Yes,
Tom
yes.
Cassidy. He's not a psychic.
Does he have like force field powers or something?
I don't think so. I think he absorbs plant energy into his and can project it.
No, I don't know. Like, maybe
He did have a psychic on his team, but I don't think you ever met them.
No, maybe I'm getting that confused. So it was in the beatdown that both me and Hooded Brawler took. But I think he was part of that because you sent Juggernaut after him, after Hooded Brawler. There was some powerful telekinetic that tried to kill Ralph when everybody showed up to take him out. And that's when he realized that like Hobgoblin had been. Well, so then there's also Demogorgon and the Goblin King. Those guys are.
Yeah, they're part of the Hobgoblin's crew.
Atuma? Atuma doesn't like Ralph. They've tussled a couple times.
Only once, I think.
No, he fought him during Kang War. Then, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Sea Leopard.
You did fight Sea Leopard once because he worked for the Hobgoblin, and then but I think you're really. I mean, Orca probably fits in there a lot of those times. You have faced off with all three of Namor's main villains, though.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways.
Yeah, and then you have like big name guys, but yeah, Universals. Yeah, that's
The rest of them have been like team fights, you know.
Yeah, that's a lot of bad guys to kind of be juggling. Yeah, so there you go, audience. There's a lot of fights.
Formerly, Futin and Absorbing Man would be on that list.
Yeah, I want to know how Absorbing Man's doing.
Well, last you saw him, he had left the underwater island, but he had still retained the computer level super genius of Ultron that he absorbed when he absorbed the adamantium, and left with his.
Did he end up leading? Did he end up becoming like like
Yeah,
space people
for a
or something.
while he like led the underwater base. So
Yeah, him and Titania did. So
yeah,
did that continue once everyone got rescued? I don't know.
yeah, they all left, and then him and Titania left together. So
Yeah. Um, so yeah, then he'll say, yeah, Victoria. I've come up with a plan that I'd like your input on, and I think it's going. My goal is to like permanently correct what's happened. Um, I want
okay,
to find a reality stone and
what's that?
change. Oh,
And then
oh
you
yeah, I guess
explain
you're a part of that.
it. You weren't a
Yeah, I
part
guess
of
you're
it
a part
either.
of
You
that.
don't know. You only found out about it because of Reed Richards and the Shield database.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You're right because everything got reset after
Yes,
the Infinity Gauntlet. Right.
it was
Okay. So
all a dream.
yeah, honey, there are these incredibly powerful
you explain
mystical
it.
stones.
You're good.
Yeah. Kind of give her the rundown. Reed says that they're dangerous, but also not the worst thing in the world, right? Like people have used them.
Yeah.
Reed says if you use them responsibly, they
Well,
work.
he also said they
Um,
were sentient.
right. Yeah. I didn't know that they were sentient.
Or something akin to that, yes.
Yeah. They have like a will of their own, didn't you say?
Yes.
You have to have a very strong will to be able to use them.
Yep.
Otherwise, they take you over.
Like an iron
Because
will.
they're like an S. Yeah, well, let's hope, right? So, yeah, and what I'd like to do is find this reality stone and basically go into history and touch up a few points, not a lot, but a few, to restore our identities and make sure that no one can ever find those again. I need to kind of hammer out the details a little bit, but I don't see any way short of something truly drastic like this that is going to keep us all safe.
She kind of hesitates for a while, thinking about it, and she says, "Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, we had
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
there's been a few gang members that you have arrested over the years come by in the last couple weeks, so it's only a matter of time before somebody more serious shows up."
Yeah.
I've had your mom move in with me, so we're okay here.
Okay.
But it's gonna do. You have to do. We have to do something. Just, I'm in it with you, Ralph. Just tell me what you need me to do. You sound like you've done the research on this, and I think you'll do what's best for us.
Thanks, honey. I'm really just having your support is the most. You're more than welcome to come with me, but
She goes, "Do you are you sure going there though is a good idea? I mean, is there you we're just gonna assume you did. How much did you tell her? Did you tell her that we didn't suggested very blatantly that you don't go?"
yeah, reads like this is a 50-50, right? Like this guy could just blow you out of the air, or you'd be interested in the other side.
I don't think he gave you that sort of odds.
Not. I thought I wrote it down. Maybe I misremembered. Okay, maybe you said 25%.
I think there's a 50-50 chance that you get shot out of the air and a 50% chance you get turned around.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So yeah, he won't give her the odds. It's going to be dangerous, but any of these options would be.
And are you still offering her to take her?
Yeah, if she willing to come, if she thinks basically, he's not gonna tell her to come because he knows.
Does Ralph think that's a good idea? I will prompt this question.
No, Ralph thinks it's a terrible idea for her to come because she's a cowboy. Like, she's a regular person, and this is like a galactic level threat. But he's also not gonna tell her what to do, right? I think they're at that point in their lives, like they both know their limitations and their capabilities. Really, honey, I'd like you to stay home, take care of Mom, keep her safe. But
Yeah. Let me think about it.
okay,
We can, Seth has reached out to me and offered any assistance we need, so. And so is the Gaelic Guardian, though. He seems to be having some trouble right now. One of his villains is acting up in the city, so.
and Jake, at some point we should get like a villain roster for him too. I really want to know like what his cast of characters are. So I imagine there's like
I got this one ready for you. He is currently, there is, and you know this person because you lived in his house for the last couple months. He is against one of his enemies, the Lynx. The Lynx is
Lynx.
yeah, is like a cat theme super villain. You know, they've got claws and super strength and super agility and super jumping and the ability to climb walls and stuff. But obviously, if they're giving the Gaelic Guardian some trouble, they're at like
tough.
they're more like Sabretooth than Hellcat. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I bet you he has like some like Irish mythology villains too, like a minor demon prince or something like that.
Yeah.
Does he have like the anti-pope, some like evil like Catholic based villain?
No.
I think that would be silly, but
Okay. So what are you doing?
cool. And then he'll call Futon.
All right. He doesn't pick up. It's more like 1:30 by the time you get off the phone. And
All right, he just leaves it. You know what? He just leaves a message.
and at one point while you are trying to ring it, you hear the ringtone get cut off like in the middle.
Yeah. So I just leave a message, and hey, buddy, just want you to know I love you. Victoria will fill you in more on what I'm looking to do, but I want you to know having you in my life has been one of the best things that's ever happened. Super proud of you and how well you're doing in school. The man that you're becoming. Love, Ralph.
He says "Love Ralph" at the end of the phone message.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like a letter.
Yeah. So he'll get that in the morning.
Cool. He thinks about it. Yeah, he's not gonna taunt any of his villains. He says, "Is there anybody else that he wants?" Yeah, and then I think same thing. I don't think he's gonna tell his family. He's not gonna tell them what he's planning to do. So he doesn't want to worry them, but he'll just send a message to each of his siblings and his mom and just let them know he's thinking about it. Love something. So at least
You've gotten messages from most of your family now. Like you guys are kind of distant. Living across the world from each other would do that to a family, especially when everybody's got lives and kids and married. You know what I mean? Yeah. But with all the stuff that's been going on, you guys have been exchanging some messages lately, and they're supportive of you. And you get a couple late night messages, like one's like up with the baby, thanks. Hope you're doing well, Ralph. Let us know if you need anything. You know.
Yeah.
Somebody sends
Yeah,
you a
just-
somebody sends you a picture of like your dad holding a fish and like with his thumbs up, smiling real big.
Yeah. I think he wants to leave them all with, if he dies tragically, at least he reached out and they'll have a final memory to have of him. I think that's it. I think he feels pretty good about that.
So is Autopsy planning on boarding the spaceship right now and blasting off into Counter Earth?
No, I was thinking about it. I am going to go and visit the cow just because he wants to hear from her. He's got all these notes about the high evolutionary, but he wants to talk to the cow lady if she's willing.
So I was trying to tell you earlier that you needed to get some people together. I was thinking you would bring the whole team on this adventure. If you want to go by yourself, well, this is something we can definitely do.
No, I'd rather take the team, but I thought you're making it sound like Galen Guardian and everybody is like
No, I mean
completely occupied.
the players.
Oh, the player team?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, you can do it on your own. You never know how this will turn out, but you're likely to use definitely solo. This is almost certainly a death sentence.
Yeah, but
I think I was trying to make that pretty clear last time, and maybe I didn't. But I mean, when you start to load up the spaceship, and you're like, I'm gonna get ready to head out. Reed will tell you that. Like, what are you doing? You need people to come with you. Like, you can't do this alone, Ralph. And he shakes you violently, like, wake up, and he slaps you, Marvel Comics style.
well, I didn't want to. I didn't, as Jordan the player, I didn't want to make another giant group game for you that you have to try and coordinate and get people like on board with to like try and coordinate, because that sounds really exhausting. Unless this factors into whatever you're doing for CritCon.
Yeah, it could. That could be the crick on you.
All right, let's do it. All right, yeah. So he says goodbye to everybody. Scratch that. Well, how about I'd like to visit the cow.
How about you? You know, you've sent all the messages. You've let everybody know. You know, you've done everything we were going to say, but that doesn't mean. I mean, you didn't tell your family you were going to leave, and you just asked your wife and your kid what they thought about this situation.
Yeah.
So it's not like you've set a
We'll give some
timeline.
time for them to get back to me. I'm gonna go visit the cow lady, and then I'll rally. Then I'll rally the team because I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Then while they're like taking time to think, I'm gonna go and kind of walk through the early life of the high evolution.
Okay. Well, you zip over there, flying across the world again, crisscrossing the world. As you are landing in Wundagore, you are back in daytime in Europe, and the place is a massive mountain. It's always covered in snow, and you are trekking around, zipping around at a low altitude, looking for this woman. Not woman.
Is Wundagore the name of the? It's the name of the mountain.
Mount Wundagore. You're looking for Bova Ayrshire. And you, while you are flying around, I need you to make a roll.
Okay. What do you want me to roll?
Oh, I need to change the soundtrack.
Well, you know what? I can't even hear the soundtrack. Are you streaming that too?
No, I sent in a link to you.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Like a direct message?
No, it was a link in the chat.
No, all there is a picture of Kang. And then my couple dice rolls.
Definitely sent it in the chat.
General chat, there's nothing.
Oh, I sent the Crusader Kings mod list on there for some reason. I don't know where I sent it. I sent it to somebody. There you go. Change. No, wait. I sent the link to the general for this. Apparently I haven't been copying the link. There we go.
There we are.
I sent the wrong link. That's why it didn't come through.
Thanks, Bonnet. Cool. Alright, thanks, Jake.
Okay. So yeah, you were flying around. You see her house, and as you fly in, I need you to make. I need you to make a psyche roll against. It's an intensity roll.
Okay.
So it's a feat roll, and it's against unearthly.
It's unearthly.
Yes.
And it's Iron Will doesn't factor in, it's not anything.
Iron Will would factor in because this is somebody eating
So,
away at your brain.
okay.
So what is your Iron Will rank?
70 spectacular.
So if it's plus or minus 1 of that rank, then it's a yellow. That is a red you needed to succeed at that. And you can spend karma on these, but you.
I don't have a lot of karma. Everything's in the bank. I only have 50.
Okay, so you drop down to the ground, and then rise up moments later. There is a all black your all black outfit is still there, but your cape has turned blood red, and your massive horns have erupted from your skull.
Oh, nice.
That sweep back, and imagine it's sort of like this, but less exactly like that. Alright, so like the chest and everything, and the arms are still black. Your face looks like yours. You have these massive horns coming out. They're about half that size, and then you have the fluttering red cape from behind you.
Yeah, look at it like.
No, you don't say anything because you start cackling with laughter as you look over to the side and then raise one of your hands and like levitate and rip out the mountain of Wundagore. And then you start to cackle even louder as you shout out, "What fool to deliver me such a powerful body! My freedom is here at last!"
Oh, jeez. This guy could just possess people willy-nilly. And I gave him a super pod.
Yes, so he can do, right now he only has 2 powers, right? Because he is imprisoned within the mountain of Wundagore. Roleplay notes. since Chthon is trapped within the confines of Wundagore, blah 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 blah. He has 2 powers. Normally, his abilities are all class 1000. However, right now, he only has domination, unearthly, mind control, unearthly. If he gains domination or control of a person, that body gains an unspecified set of powers. Those exhibited by previous hosts include levitation, mind blast, plasma generation, telekinesis, and teleportation.
Oh, jeez.
So, Ralph.
Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like he possesses a lot of people, so I'm in good company.
As you rip up the mountain, you levitate this whole thing up, and then a book slams into your hand, and and it's not really a book; it's just like a scroll, actually, because the Darkhold is with somebody else. But there's these scrolls, and he looks at it, and he smiles, and at that, he teleports to, and you arrive in New York City.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and with and Ralph, with a sweep of your hand, a giant blast of energy just sweeps through the the ocean, parting it. You're about 2 miles out from New York. It parts it and cuts a trench into the thing. As shockwaves ripple out, you see the trees off in the distance erupt, and a tsunami-like waves burst forward that sweep into the East Coast. New Jersey past New York are hit with tsunamis and massive flooding. Thankfully, they're small scale. And the blast that is going to smack into New York is suddenly struck by a bolt of lightning and knocked down. And levitating amongst the group of them is whoever is the current Sorcerer Supreme got this notice.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
And the Avengers... You gotta turn your face to the mic. I can't hear you.
Classic Marvel fashion, they have like their hood up, right? It's all rippling around them, but the hood's up and you don't know who.
Yeah, your hood up. You have a hood up, yeah. And they're like,
Yeah.
and the sorcerers...
We don't know for sure. They're speaking in like high magic
Yeah.
language, so you don't know.
Oh yeah, the Sorcerer Supreme, sure, yeah. That too.
Yeah.
And, but you are too, and they're like, Chthon, I don't know who you possessed, but today, we will be sealed again forever. And then you, like, throw off your dark red hood, and he, like, reveals it's Autopsy, and the Fantastic Four they're like, we just saw him, like, a day ago. And... like, international TV comes on, we will flashback over to Ireland, and, oh wait, I'll say this, as you're saying that, you force yourself to look over, and Evie's, like, trying to shout something at you, but you can't hear it, and then Chthon goes like this, and rips Evie off your arm, crunching it, and dropping it into the ocean.
Oh no!
And as that goes down, there's a ring, like it literally we zoom down to Evie's like screen, just barely flashing, the lights going dim, and it says, Gale Guardian left message, help Autopsy. And as that sinks to the ocean, we see a massive fight break out between Spider-Man, the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Fantastic Four, and the Sorcerer Supreme, Clea, and they are all versus you as Chthon.
Oh yeah, because he's an elder god, right?
Yeah. And at one point, like they've like evacuated part of it, and then like you're starting to beat him, and like you smack Captain America to the ground. He's like laying there, shield thrown to the side, dented in a place, and he's like trying to pull himself back up. You see like the giant man strewn and beaten into a building, holding in his hand like he's barely caught her, the Wasp. The Clea down on like one knee, holding her face. Scarlet Witch holding the Vision's head, as that's the only part of him left. Iron Man is laying on the ground, his helmet broken. Reed is like stumbled backwards and he's trying to put something back together as his arms all strung out. Invisible Woman's like there with the bloody nose as she holds up the force field to like protect Thor. He's like swinging his hammer. He's like the only one. Spider-Man, like he's got that classic like hair stuck out, the mask. So, but what happens as the fight comes down to the end? It's like you versus like Thor and the Sorcerer Supreme, like duking it out, and as you're like coming back down, a massive hammer just smushes you into the ground, and then. Like a bunch of metal zooms in and smashes around you. The X-Men are already down at the back. Magneto's not on their team. Obviously, he's died. Like
has he died at this point? Real quick.
Yes, he did. We should have done something for that, but he would be, yeah. Anyways, but you see you're suddenly encased, and that giant hammer smashes into you again, and you look up and you see through Chthon's eyes, Gabanos is there with his hammer. And then him and Thor like boom, boom, and smashes you into each other's hammers as you slump unconscious and in the rubble of Manhattan, and they take Chthon back out and seal him away. But there is this menacing cackling happening as he's sealed away, and before you pass out that you look down into your hand and the scroll is gone. So Yes. You wake up a few hours later at about 20 hit points. And the only reason you awake is you hear horror in Dublin continues. The mass breakout of the Dublin Penitentiary has happened again. This is the worst since the Absorbing Man struck it. Coincidentally, the Absorbing Man is the one that has broken the villains out of the penitentiary once more. Going to massive size, he has struck it. We now know that the villains have torched the Banks Memorial Hospital and believed to have killed most of the employees inside, including, and they show the picture of Dr. Emily Banks.
Oh, I think like Freeze, like this comic book, like the end of the comic, like it's her face, right? And
Yeah.
like Ralph, like from behind, like, you know.
And then it says the end, and then you flip over, and there have been a number of kidnappings, including.
Yeah. And then I think at 20 hit points, Ralph staggers himself out and launches himself to try and like get to Dublin as fast as he can.
Yeah.
You know, he's like bleeding and stuff. He's like, just kind of like holds it. It's broken.
Yeah. Well, and I mean the kidnapping shows pictures of Futin, Futin and your mother and Victoria.
Trust.
And the last thing you do is you flying back. You look down at your wrist to say something to Evie. You notice that nothing's there, and you kind of hear the Cork Academy has been destroyed as well in the attack by, and then that's.
Whoa. What the hell? Zorban Man just went nuts?
You don't know what happened there. You left too soon.
Yeah, we got
And that's the end of the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta see one old cow lady get possessed and the entire city falls apart. It's pretty rough.
Yeah. Yeah. You asked about Chthon too. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he could possess people. I thought you had to actually go inside the mountain, like in like the caves or something, not just like set foot on it.
No.
How's the cow lady not be possessed by it?
I don't know.
Oh, we got like a special house for it, right?
Who knows?
Alright. Scratch that. That was a bad idea.
So you we're gonna say you look real beat up when you arrive, but we're gonna put you down. We're gonna put you down 20 hit points because it takes you like 9 hours to fly back.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. So I'll set my HP. God, that sucks.
Yeah, I had an adventure planned out for you to be in Dublin, and then you failed.
This could have helped Dublin in a really big way.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Hey, give me a second. All right.
Okay, so you
Yeah, I guess he goes there. A burning city.
Yeah, you fly in, and there are literal fires erupting across Dublin. The city is on fire. As you fly in, you zip down by the cars as there are thousands of people evacuating the city. You hear machine gun fires, you see bursts of laser fire erupting, and as you fly over top of the city, you look down, and there are just open gang war in the street. Police are fighting, and it all sort of, at this point in time, the whole organization is broken down into total chaos. You see Mandroid units walking. They as they're so badly damaged they don't seem to fly, but they're still using them. The police are going around building to building like they're wearing helmets, like it's a war zone. And at the north side of the city, you see that the army has even arrived, or what's left of the army, because it looks like they got destroyed almost.
Who would have the capacity to do this that's imprisoned in Dublin? I mean, I guess Absorbing Man could, right? He's strong enough.
Let's see. There was Absorbing Man. You had the Mummy Queen in there. Rhino would be immune to any conventional weapons.
Was Rhino the type to join in a gang and like destroying the city? He's more just
No.
like a
He's like a two-time
mercenary.
thug kind of guy, mercenary.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, there were very powerful people in prison in there. So
yeah. And so, and when you said the Dublin prison, you actually meant like the superhero prison out in the Bay, right?
yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I don't have Evie. I don't have any way to communicate with people. Do I see anybody that looks familiar?
Roll an intuition roll.
Yeah, that's a yellow.
Alright, I changed the music. I like this one better.
Okay.
So yeah, you are flying around. You see Dresden drinking water, kind of with a bandage over his shoulder. Tyrone Galland.
Tyrone Gallant.
Yeah, he was a police detective who got fired for being in
Yeah.
contact with Ralph Contain.
Yeah, guy. Well, my index is on. Tyrone. How you holding up?
He goes, Autopsy, what happened to you? As he looks at you and you got like caked and dried blood all over you. And, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
I seen tip trip that went really bad. Don't recommend Transient this time of year.
He goes, well, I got rehired, so that's good. As he holds the bullet wound in his shoulder. It's not good, man. This giant metal man just came in and he took some sort of wrecking ball and smashed into the prison again. And they just all came out and they started looking for you. I mean, there were a number of them that just made a run for it and scattered all over the place. They kept most of the people in prison in there, but I don't know, there was 7 or 8 of them looking for you. And well, when they didn't find you, they did this. It's just maximum chaos, man. I don't know what this is. This is not what it's usually. It doesn't fit their MOs, you know. But
No.
this is. Oh man, have you seen the Gaelic Guardian? He's
No.
he was not. He was out on his own and doing his best, but I think after he took down Lynx and Atomica, he fought with one of your guys, Sludge, I think, and some green guy with a sword got him bad.
Where is he?
I don't know. They started fighting. He hit him with the spear, and they got out of there, and I haven't seen him since.
Okay. Do you have any way of contacting?
And then as you're about to say that, boom, 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 machine gun fire flies in. They just pound off your head. They duck down. You see one of the police officers get shot, and he hits the ground right in front of you.
I take like I punch in the ground, take like a piece of cement or whatever, and just like throw it at where all the shots were coming from.
Okay. Are you trying to hold back and not kill people, or?
Yeah. Just enough to, like.
Well, you just picked up a chunk of the cement and threw it in machine gun range. I wanted to check. It sounded pretty lethal.
I think let me specify. Unless I say otherwise, I'm aiming to maim, not kill.
Well, I mean, right now, if you murder somebody, you only lose 50 karma.
Let's not start now.
So you throw it, and it boom. It bounces hard, and then like skips up and smashes into the car, and knocks the guy back. Gun flies, and then you see like 3 more of them pop around the corner and begin to fire in at you guys.
Yeah. All right, Tyrone, stay down. Find you some way to get in communication with anybody who's in charge, and I'm gonna dive in there and go popping. Kicking the guy, send the guy flying into a wall.
Yeah, you see him pop up. Boom, 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 boom. Tyrone shoots a guy.
Yeah.
And that, as you take him down, the police are like, "Oh, thanks. We really needed that. It's been pretty bad since the army got taken down."
Yeah.
Some woman, that mummy queen woman, she just turned most of them into sand. And then that rhino guy, he just stampeded through the equipment.
What's he doing here? Excalibur, red or blue? Anybody from the mainland, have they made contact?
That's the UK. I mean, nobody says that, so they're not. They're not.
Oh yeah, I know.
From
Sorry, then I wouldn't say mainland from the UK.
Well, they're not allowed over here. It would be violation of.
Okay, it's not true. We do stuff. There's like joint operations.
That's.
If London was getting destroyed,
Individuals do stuff. They cross borders, but I mean, you know, you're not.
No, that's true because Excalibur is a government sponsored team, aren't they? They're not independent. But anyways, any heroes from the UK, have they made it over? Or the
EDI has been contacted last we heard, but don't know what's going on there.
okay. Is anybody in charge that you know of?
They look at each other, and then they shrug.
Okay. Well, I've got
It's bad, Ralph. I mean, the whole eastern part of Ireland has fallen into chaos. You don't know why the EDI hasn't arrived. You'd think they would be here by now, but yeah.
Someone. I mean.
You'll have to go find the news. I mean, you can't get it given to you.
Yeah, Hobgoblin. All right, so they don't have any radios. I guess I'll see if they have like a.
They have radios, but they're using it to communicate between units.
Yeah, nothing bigger. Okay, so.
I mean, you could always just go over and turn a car on. There's some with keys still in it, and listen to the radio if that's what you want to do.
No, I want to fly up and I want to get an angle on. Is there any heroes that or any like active villain that's attacking somebody that I can go to? I need to find someone. I want to find someone powerful that I can either interrogate or get information from. Who might know more than just the cops.
Roll intuition.
Okay. With investigation, that is green.
All right. You see, three people working together, facing off with a number of like criminals. They look like they're tearing their way through gang. Two guys in spider outfits. Spider-Man, both of them, and the Humbler.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I swoop into the pump 'em, pow pow pow. Take out guys.
Can you move your face closer to the mic?
Yeah. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I swoop in and same thing, ask them. What the hell happened?
Spider-Man goes, "Hey, Autopsy! Oh my God, we're so glad to see you right now." And the other one, the younger Spider-Man, walks up to you and says, "Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Autopsy. I'm Spider-Man," and he shakes your hand.
All right. Spider-Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah, we really should have different names, but and they look at each other and shrug.
Why change a good thing?
And you notice the Humbler doesn't say much. It's a little off-putting. And then he puts into the he leans over and puts his fingers to an earpiece and he says something quietly. And he looks at you guys all pretty seriously. And yeah.
Wundagore, what's going on?
And Spider-Man goes, well, I mean, you can see what's going on here. The whole place is a mess. It's somebody's let these guys out, and they're vicious. This is not like I've ever seen before. And
Mind control?
they seem to be out for blood.
Did someone release some kind of pheromone in the prison?
They look at each other. We haven't been able to get into the prison.
Okay.
And Humbler looks at you, and he then you hear him say, "Are you serious?" into his radio, and then there's a silence, and he says, "You're gonna make me do this?" And then you're standing there. You hear over the radio Seth say, "Look, if we did this to Captain Ultra Eclipse, we can't let this one get away either."
Oh no!
Just holding there, I'm almost there.
Jeez.
And the Humbler comes up to you, and he looks like he's about to put his hand on your shoulder. And the Spider-Men look at you, and then look at Frank, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And Frank reaches out and puts his hand on your shoulder, and he says, "Autopsy, we know what you did in New York." And the Spider-Men look at each other, and they're like, what are you talking about? And then Humbler turns and he says, "Took out most of the eastern and most of the New York metropolitan area." And there's like a shock as they like step back, and they're like like one of them flips up and like gets on their feet, and they go, "Who are you? What have you done with Autopsy?" And they go,
well, actually, it was Gathon.
and then Seth zips in with his hyperspeed, and he says, "It was Autopsy. It was really him. He was. We think he was under some sort of mental control, but that doesn't let you escape responsibility."
Okay.
And Spider-Man goes, "Well, what do you mean? Just because somebody gets mind controlled doesn't mean it's their fault. I mean, he didn't mean to do it. Somebody else did it while they were under his control. That is ridiculous." And younger Spider-Man goes, "Oh my God, are they going to arrest me for that time when the Ringmaster made me do those juggling acts? Bro, juggling." And he looks at everyone and he elbows him.
Okay. I just fix Seth with a really heavy wire. Like, maybe he will. Maybe he'll lock you up for life. Come on,
And
Seth.
as you say that, big wings sprout from Seth's back, and his body starts to have, like, his hair turns into flames, and you see scales start to appear on his body, and his fingers extend into claws.
Yeah, does he turn into... Is this like his normal transformation, or is he something evil?
No, he is one of his normal powers. He's got...
Because he has shape-shifting, right?
Yeah, he has duplication is his main power, and one of those abilities is animal mimicry, and he is mimicking a fire dragon that he faced long ago.
Okay, Charizard? This is Charizard form?
Yes.
I look at him like, Seth, look around you. This place, we have to work together. I am an asset to you here. If you want to chain me to you, I'm okay with that. We cannot divide ourselves right now.
And he says, I've been doing this too long, Autopsy. We gotta take care of the problems one at a time. And this one is right in front of me.
Yes, all around you. Look at this.
Humbler shakes his head and he just says, "Look, Ralph, we'll get this under control. Just let's not make this into a fight." And the Spider-Man land down next to you, and they're like, "Look, Peter Parker, the older Spider-Man, red and blue Spider-Man, red Spider-Man. We'll call him Red Spider-Man and Black Spider-Man."
Yeah, right.
So Red Spider-Man says, "Look, guys, this is ridiculous. You're being a little crazy right now. Just let's. He's got enough on his plate. The guy doesn't deserve this." And Seth says, "He may not have deserved it, but that doesn't mean that you get to escape the consequences of your actions, Spider-Man. Just because you accidentally kill someone in a car wreck doesn't mean you don't get into trouble." And they go. Black Spider-Man steps up and he says, "Well, we're going to be on his side if that's what it comes down to." As he looks at the other Spider-Man and he nods.
Ted, I will turn myself over to you after we resolve this, if that's what you want. I am not here to harm anybody. I want to find my family. I want to keep this city safe. Please don't do this right now.
So you're not gonna. He looks at you and he says, "So you're not gonna make this easy? I can handle the city. Why do you think I'm out here? This is serious. Look what they've done to my school. Now you need to you've been on the run for too long. I let it slide before, but I can't let it slide anymore."
Oh, this is about not turning myself in. Now you think I've gone crazy. Is that it? You know me better than anybody in this city. You know how much I care.
It's not about whether you've gone crazy or whether you've decided to be a supervillain, Autopsy. It's about what your actions have done. And ultimately, you need to face the music. And
Okay, it's now the time to do it.
he reaches into his back, and since he's malleable, he pulls out these pair of obviously adamantium cuffs.
Jeez. I think I'm just gonna
And you see the Humbler, he solidifies, he gets harder, and he clenches his knuckles a couple times.
Right.
And then you see Spider-Man kind of trigger finger the webs as the other one's you see some electricity go zzz around the hands.
Yeah.
And then you hear Black Spider-Man, he says, "I'm not feeling so good about this one." And he goes, "Look, you gotta stand up for what's right when it's the time to stand up for what's right."
Seth, this isn't right, man. This isn't the way to do it. And I'm sorry. And then Ralph is going to launch himself into the air, away from just backflip in the air and get away from Humbler, because Humbler can't fly, right?
No.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get out of grapple range of Humbler and get up into the air if I have to fight Seth. There. That's where I
Alright, so as you zip up into the air, Seth moves just as quick or faster than you, and then catches you, and then boom, smashes you into the ground, and the two of you begin to tussle as those two Spider-Man jump into action and start shooting webs onto the Humbler.
Nice.
Alright, so as the city burns around you, you are facing off against Seth.
Probably the most powerful, right? He's got to be the most powerful guy I fought.
I don't know. I mean, you fought some tough guys.
Isn't Seth apocalypse level of
Yeah, but so are you, really. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do this. Did you plan this out with Dan?
No. But I mean, this is what he did to Captain Ultra, right? Captain Ultra saved them by sacrificing himself to divert the Soviet missile that was going to blow them up, and he got blown up, fell in on the Eastern Bloc side. Everybody thought he was dead. There was only like Cape debris, and they brainwashed him, turned him into a thing. He killed Starfire, killed a couple thousand people, blew up a section of Dublin, and they were going to arrest him. They were going to, they were going to put him into jail forever. And the other option was that he left and never returned, went into a voluntary and forever exile. So.
Alright, I'm just saying, when mentor superheroes don't process their own shit.
Can you lean back in again? What are you saying?
Oh, I said, when mentor superheroes don't process their own failures appropriately and then, like, superimpose those on other people, we'll have problems with that. Look at Tony Stark, right? I think Captain America's had a couple of those, too, where I made mistakes and I'm going to make sure you don't make my same mistakes. It's like, listen, man. Alright. Alright.
Alright, roll initiative.
That's a white.
Okay, white. Okay, he has hyperspeed, so unfortunately,
You like automatically succeeds, right?
yeah, he has like a plus 10, I think, or plus 3, I think. So, let's see. I have his old stat sheet. Huh?
Plus 10.
Is that what it says?
That's rough. It's with hyperspeed, yeah, that's rough.
So you got a 55 on Incredible, which is a green. And then yeah, so you got a green, and so he definitely goes first.
Okay.
He automatically gets 3 attacks.
Wait, does he have all of his powers simultaneously, or does he have to cycle through them?
He has to cycle through them, so that's the biggest advantage here.
Yeah.
However, he has absurdly high levels of regeneration.
Right. Like, almost like Daredevil levels, right?
Daredevil? No, he has higher regeneration than Benny.
What?
Yeah, he has doubled. He has almost double, more than double Deadpool's regeneration.
What is? Wow, isn't Benny's regeneration unearthly? No, Benny's
Shift 150.
Shift 125.
Yeah, he's double that.
Wow.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
He's
What I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna try and cuff him with his own.
yeah, he just slid those back in when he saw you weren't gonna come. He's just gonna beat you unconscious first.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Alright, there's his 3 attacks. He rushes in, and then he takes 2 giant swipes with his claws to see if he can cut through your body armor.
I can't because I don't have body armor.
Yeah, he doesn't know how that works, until you try it.
Right.
His are on Amazing.
Oh, sick, dude.
Nice. Okay,
Yellow.
so that is, he's got like a so many talents.
Well, I critical him back, and then I take the critical 95.
So that is sensational. He gets a white, a yellow, and a red. So to describe what happens. So he swings in and his wings beat forward, flames coming out of his hair, like with this massive mane coming from behind him, and then he like breathes a burst of fire just for effect, and then swipes at you.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because you countered it.
So, and I would know that I've seen him in action before, so I know that he can heal really fast.
Yes.
I know he's like super strong.
Yes.
Is his hyper speed applied to flight as well? Or
Yes.
Is it like ground? Oh, jeez.
But the hyperspeed is his. So his powers are body adaptation, hyperspeed, longevity, and malleability. And then duplication is his other power, which gives him. He basically has almost any power you can imagine.
Right. Mm-hmm. He's been around for 50,000 years too, so he does have every power.
I mean, he has a limit to how many he can copy, but he doesn't share that information with people.
Right. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna stun him, right? I'm gonna stun him. I don't know if regeneration would.
You can't stun on a crit dodge, but you can stun on your attack.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm. That's gonna be my plan, is to try and stun him. And I guess I don't really want to fight him. I want to get him away from me.
All right, so as he swoops in, I'll just narrate it for you. You duck underneath of it, boom, an uppercut straight to the chest. How much damage do you do?
I do. That's 90 that he's taking.
You do 90?
Hey, you bumped it up one.
No, this is a critical dodge.
That's correct. Your attack. It's 70.
70. Okay. Okay, Liz. Okay, and then he sees you down below, and he grabs you by the knees, and he throws a knee up into your chest as he throws you both up into the air with a massive beat of his wings. But you grab the knee, push it down, and headbutt him in the head, sending him rocketing backwards. He hits the ground hard, and you come down with a punch to like smash into his chest. He rolls off to the side, turns, and then he does a spin kick into the side of your head. He does 100 points of damage.
He does 100 points of damage. Okay.
Yeah, 90 but up one.
Yeah, right, for the crit. Okay.
Yeah.
So 75, so 220 minus 25. Oh, well, so 25 gets tanked to my body, so that's alright.
So you subtract the body resistance first, then you do the iron one.
Yeah. So 35. Oh, wait. Let me check.
65 into iron will.
Yeah, I just gotta see. I gotta see what my iron will, or what my body resistance is. I just want to remember. Is it 35 or 30?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you said it was 35.
It's 35. Yeah. So 65. All right. So I'm in there. Yeah, I'm still holding up. Just like glaring at it.
Okay, your turn. Make your attacks.
All right. Roll for.
So the two of you are now just standing there, kind of ready to fight. And over to the side, you see Humbler getting webbed up a lot, and he like reaches over, and then he goes boom, and just decks Peter, and goes and flies away.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Spider-Man you saw in New York should have been Scarlet Spider, by the way, just for everybody's reference.
Scarlet Spider, like Ben Reilly.
Yes.
Nice. So does he still have like the jean jacket?
Yes. The classic red with the blue sweater.
Sick. Those are 2 greens to
Okay, so that is a white on the first one, which means you close, boom, you go for the stun, and it hits into him, and the shock that would normally stun somebody just, like, rubbers off of his malleable body. But you also know that he has higher endurance than strength, so it would have probably been ineffective either way. Well, I guess you wouldn't know that. So, but then the second blow comes in, and he puts his hands up, takes the blow, but doesn't take it all the way as you throw him backwards, as the scales on his arms sort of snap under the pressure. So you do 70, so that would be 35. So one's okay. You see he's beaten up. He's a little bloodied at this point in time. He's looking a little beat up, and he stretches, and then like a big chunk of the wounds heal.
Yeah. What's that?
You're going in, Autopsy. I'm not giving you an option otherwise. He closes. Massive beat of the wings brings him straight up on top of you. You're now used to the speed, and you guys lock hands.
Yeah.
So that is a red, a green, and a yellow.
Alright, yellow, red.
What's your fighting? I don't think that first one's a yellow.
Yeah, I have spectacular fighting.
So that's a red. The 89 is a red.
Oh, 89 is a red? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that reduces the damage on the first blow by 1 level. What just happened? Hey, you still there?
Yeah, you just dropped out for a second.
Yeah, I got kicked for a second. Yeah, so it reduces the damage on the first blow by 1 level, back to normal damage.
Right.
So as you two lock hands, he pushes you down on the ground and then starts headbutting you over and over and over as your head gets like bloody. And the scales on his head even start to crack underneath of it. And then you throw him backwards, kick him up in the chest, and he goes, as he goes flying back up in the air. So you take 90 on the first attack. And then he takes 70. You're doing good in this fight.
Yeah.
And then the last blow, and then as he comes up into the air, he flips around and he goes boom and flies down into you, and then he goes bursts just like and envelops himself in a ball of flames and smashes into you, and the flames shoot up like a giant tower as you get hit for 90 points damage.
Alright, give me a second. And then Ironwell refreshes on my turn, right?
It refreshes on your turn after you burn it.
Yeah, okay, so 165 minus 65. And how much? Oh, you said it was 90 damage?
90 again, yeah.
Okay, and then 90 minus 35 plus 55. Alright, so 165 minus.
You look over and you see the.
And then 110 hit points.
You look over and you see the fight with the Humbler is. They don't seem to be able to hurt him much, even though they're punching and stuff. But they are. They're still fighting. But he is looking like he's getting webbed up to the point where he may not even be able to move soon.
Okay, that's fine.
He's gotten a couple good hits in on him, but he doesn't seem to be going all out on them either.
Okay. Yeah, he probably.
Your turn.
Alright. Yeah, Ralph, he realizes he's got to get away from himself. He's too fast. He's too strong. It's too much of a distraction. He's not going to win against him. So he's going to try something.
What are you at? What are you at hit point wise?
110.
Yeah, he's not looking so good either. He's lost over 100 hit points.
But doesn't he have like 400?
No.
Alright.
He has 250.
Alright. I'm gonna wait on him. I'm gonna keep going at him. Let me refresh my iron oil. Minus 7. Alright, and I'm gonna dive on to just completely pummel him. It's a yellow and a green.
A yellow and a green. Okay.
Okay.
So you close in, and then boom, the first punch hits him. He stumbles off to the side. Boom, the second punch hits him, but he gets his block up again. He stumbles again. Minor damage goes through the scales.
Okay.
He starts to you see like a flash and an aura of like fire and energy or envelop him, and then he comes at you again. Red, yellow, yellow,
Probably yellow.
yellow. Okay,
So as you punch him back, and you guys are slugfesting it through the city, you see the shockwaves rumble. Then one of them flips the cars you guys are throwing, and then he comes at you, boom, an uppercut, an overhand cut to the face, and then he comes up and then kicks you into the knee, and with a knee to the chest. And roll your dodges. Oh, the first one hits you hard. But as the first one hits you and you go thrown backward, blood just splattering against one of the buildings, the knee comes up and you duck underneath of it, grab his back leg, and then swing you around the top of your head, and then boom, smash you into the ground.
And that's a green.
And then as he shakes off the ground, he reaches up and just like does like some sort of like palm strike right into your chest as he knows a number of martial arts. Okay, so that's 90 and 90 again. And you take...
It's one a crit. Oh yeah, if it's crit, you can use it. Okay, so...
No, you're right. One's 100 and one's 90.
That's what I thought. So...
And he takes 70 again, so that is...
So 45 minus 90 is 45, 73 minus 45. Yeah, I'm not looking great.
So you took 55 and 55. You took 110. And then most of that would have went into your iron will, right?
Yeah, the first one, it all went into my iron will. And so that left me with
40 damage to your body.
well, 10 in my iron will. Because it's reduced, so 100 minus 35 is 65. So I'm left with 10 because my iron will is 75. And so no damage on that one. And then the next one also 90. So I take
55.
that one's 90. So I take 55.
Which means you take 45 damage.
Yeah, which I take 45 damage. So
And a full iron will.
28. 28, no iron will.
Ah, that's an awkward and uncomfortable number.
Yes, it is. I'd really like to, I think, bumps his iron will up to 100 it'd be awesome, but that would be an obscene amount of karma.
Alright, so you stumble backwards as you both raise up. It's your turn. He's looking real beat up. He like wipes some blood out of his beard, and he looks at you, and one of his eyes is like kind of swollen up as you're like standing there wobbly like a boxer that's gone 10 rounds of getting hit in the face. And
Yeah.
he shakes his head and he goes, "You're getting too old for this, Ralph."
Yeah.
So am I.
Me both. So, I don't know. Do I know anything about Eclipse? That game?
You know of him. You don't really. I don't think Seth tells the story, right? Because he doesn't like the story. He wasn't comfortable with the decision he made at the time, but he stuck by it.
Yeah. Gotta be the good guys here, man. Even when we make mistakes.
I am the good guy here. I'm trying to be the best I can be. I said this would be different. If you keep talking to him, he's gonna regenerate.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Alright. Sorry. No, dive on. Oh, it's on.
You want to spend karma to get that up?
Yeah, I really do. I'll spend that. I'll spend that to make it a green.
20.
20 to make it a green.
Second attack.
Is that? Yeah, second attack. Let me just take out the karma real quick. Another 30. Alright.
Another
And
green.
that's also a green. Yep.
And a yellow. Alright, so the first attack comes in, he tries to get up his guard, he blocks it partially, but it hits him to his shoulder, he stumbles forward. And then the second attack comes in, he pushes as you like come up and you then go for a fake punch and then a feint, and then you go into like one of those Spartan kicks into his chest, but he grabs your foot and then he flips you backwards, but you fly up into the air. Now you're looking down at him.
Yeah.
And you see some of his wounds recover.
Great.
And you see that energy glimmer around him, and then the scales disappear.
They disappear.
Yeah, the flames go away, the scales disappear, the claws retract, and he's like this.
Just kind of like give him like a weird look. Like, what?
You've seen him switch powers before. That's what happens on the middle row.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so it's just him. It's his turn now, I guess.
Yep. Oh, that's a white. That's a white. That's a green. His skill went down
Alright,
significantly.
Maybe this is your time, baby.
Okay, so the first one is he stretches his arm up to reach hold of you and grab you and pull you back down. You duck underneath of it, grab the arm and throw it, and he lets it go. He lets you pull the arm off, and you throw off that piece of an arm. And then he goes like this, and he stretches back out, and the arm appears. And then he goes like this and throws an uppercut at your face. You forgot how far he can reach with these. Like you're zipping around the skyscraper level, and he's throwing punches at you from ground level. And that one comes in, and it's a dead lock onto you, and you put your arms up, Wonder Woman's out, take the blow, get thrown up higher into the air, and then you see the detached arm, like, reach up and, like, separate, and then, like, make a dome over the top of those buildings to keep you from, and you bounce up against it and come back down. You got green versus green, which would mean you take 45 damage.
45.
Yep.
Oh, that's right, because I take half.
Yep.
Alright, I'll have to make a rogue recovery.
No, 45 would only mean you take 10 damage.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right. Minus that, yes. That's 10. Alright.
Yeah, and then the second punch comes in and up, and you just do like a corkscrew around the arm, and then you come in and you're like, as you throw that punch.
Jake, I think now, since it's a climactic moment, right, I'm going to activate my adrenal surge.
Yeah, and we'll say you're doing a charge attack here, because you got thrown away so far, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and, like, really wow. So I have the adrenal surge. Oh, only one round. It's all got to hit here, baby. Yeah. So we're gonna do a slam on it. So that's gonna bump it up to 125 damage.
Yeah, because unearthly plus... Well, no, it raises your strength, so you still would only do unearthly damage. But you get a second attack, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So nice.
92, second attack.
Oh baby, 2 reds.
19 and a yellow. Okay, so you come in and the first punch, boom, decks him, and he just goes flying up into the air. But as that's happening, you see the body armor, like Colossus-style steel plates appear around him, but the force of the punch crunches through it as he takes significant amount of damage from that. And then as you zip up behind him, you go boom, 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 like that old Superman cartoon where he punches back the laser, and then the last punch hits him, and he goes, oof. He needs to make an endurance roll, so that's 100. You did on the last punch. Oh wait, no, upped. So yeah, you did 90, and then you did 100, and so that would be. Oh, he's not looking so good. So. No, it's 90. It would be 70 and then up to 90. Oh yeah, then you critical to 100. Yeah. And then actually that's more. That's more than that. You did 125 on the 100 on the last one because it's upped by the critical. So that would be 75 points of damage. So the last punch, boom, strikes him hard. He rolls an endurance roll, and he does not do good. I think it's a white. Where did you want him to go as he fails the endurance roll that he needed a red on because the damage was so high? Actually, he got a green, but he still needed a red, so it doesn't matter.
I want to plow him as far as I can, so he has to it takes him a while.
No, I thought you were slamming him. Remember? Yeah, but I mean, if you hit him into the ground, it's not going to do more damage or anything.
I want to slam him into the middle of a group of bad guys, so he has to deal with them.
Well, I mean, okay, so slam moves him away as if it was a movement speed, so you could send him like a mile away.
Okay.
Or you could just hit him into a group of bad guys on like a block away if you want to. I don't know. I mean, you could just hit him somewhere in the city. Yeah. Or I'm saying you could like hit him out of the city.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter because he's got hyper speed, right? So he's gonna be back.
Yeah, but I mean, you can like punch him so far away, like he lands in a cow pasture on the outskirts of town. You know. Or you could punch him into a section of the city. I mean, if you wanted to do that, you just pick out a spot. It's hard to tell exactly. I mean, it looks like everywhere is in trouble, so you could punch him into a gang fight somewhere.
Yeah, no, he'll that. I'm just gonna knock him out of the city. I want to knock him back into the ruins of his school.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you're like boom, boom, and you hit because you're hitting him with enough force that I believe he flies like on a slam effect. It's the distance on this stuff is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, on a crit.
On a 125.
Yeah. Holy smokes, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, sure. You know what? When you're boom, you just give him one massive punch and he goes, shoof. shooting away and like blasting off as he rockets across and out of the city. And then we flash forward to him in the air, and you see that he's passed out from the punch.
Wow.
Yes, and as he is flying backwards, he wakes up just in time to see the ground come in, and he goes, boom, and like balls himself up and bounces off as he looks around, shakes his head, and kind of sits down and puts his head into his hands.
Yeah.
And then we flash back over to Autopsy. Off to the side, you see the Humbler getting webbed up. He sees what you do up there, and he goes, and he nods to you, and he reaches down and starts to, he turns on his gauntlets, and they turn into like lasers, and he starts to try to cut through the webbing.
Yeah. Alright. I'm going after my family, Frank. Is yours okay?
He nods, he says, Vanetta and the kids are at home. And Cork. Cork was really spared.
Alright.
Good luck.
And then he like nods to the Spider-Man and he'll dive off into
We'll take care of it around here. And they look at the Humbler like, you still want to go? And then they like make the web things like, and one of them we're gonna say Peter's like rubbing his chest. He's like, I don't wanna.
Yeah. Because he's middle aged, right? I mean, he's not middle aged, he's not 40 yet. Is he like our age?
Yeah, he's my age, I think. So 30,
Yeah.
your age, 33, 34.
Yeah, he's feeling it now.
Probably not in the kind of conditioning he gets, but he did get punched by a guy who can go toe to toe with the Hawk. So
Yeah. And he's got a metal leg, right?
yes,
Yeah. Is it like so? Yeah. Then I'm looking for the family. Ralph's gonna breathe. He's like really hurt, actually.
okay. As you zip across the city, you see a bunch of plants coming around, and they scoop into a building, and they pull a bunch of people out, and they're dangling over the ledge, and you see 3 people get let go by the plant.
Shadow powers to like catch them lower into the ground.
Shadow Power catches them, and as you catch them, you gently place them onto the ground. You hear, I see you're back, my arch nemesis. It is me, Metal Man, here to expire all of humanity. And he looks at you and he goes, wow, it looks like someone almost expired you. Prepare to taste my nasty nettles.
Can I just like put like a globe of shadow around him and like trap him in it?
Alright, make a agility roll.
The yellow.
Alright, you shoot it around him, and then he pops up on the other side of it, and he says, you should know that I have all of the menacing maneuverability of a nettle. Or other sort of what you would humans call weeds.
They have roots. What are you talking about?
The most maneuverable of living beings. They're everywhere you don't want. And he shoots out a bunch of nettle spikes at you.
I do not want to go down because of this guy. And it's a green.
Right, white. They shoot forward at you, and you just go like this, and you go, poof, take your hand and just wave it through the air, and it sends them all flying backwards.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna leap forward like One Punch Man style. Just go,
Alright, make an attack roll.
move his head. Yeah. Oh, that's a white. Oh, jeez. Alright, yellow.
Okay, yellow on me and white. So the first punch he dodges over to the left, and he just kind of cackles as he does. And then as he turns to you to say something about freeing the plants, you just deck him right in the face. And he goes careening backwards. And hits the wall and he goes, "Ah! How dare you! You have stricken the Nettle Man, but little do you know that will be your undoing." As you look at your hand and they're covered in little stingers.
Do I have gloves though? Like,
Yeah, I mean they burrowed through your costume.
okay.
They're super powered stingers. Make an endurance roll.
Like, how? Yeah, that's a green.
Okay, then nothing happens. You just are itchy. He goes, You've resisted my irresistible nettles? I knew you were my arch nemesis, Autopsy. You defender of the defender of humanity, and then you rush forward and just punch him straight again in the stomach. He goes, "Tunk," and passes out.
Yeah. Like, jeez.
Okay.
I like Dado tie his like hands. I hog tie him.
I need you to make 8 more endurance rolls real fast. You can go 8d100 because if you get a white on any of them, you take nettle damage.
Alright. Probably will. The odds are not in my favor.
Well, what's your endurance? Sensational?
Spectacular.
So you need a 21 or lower. 1. You took 2 damage from the nettles.
I'm so bad off, it's like it doesn't feel great, right? Yeah. Alright. I guess you could kill a person with these, a regular person.
Well, he has plant control. He just almost dropped a bunch of people off of a building. I mean,
Yeah. Alright, I hog tie him.
he didn't even get to do his nettle scream. You punched him out too fast.
It's good. It's good. I'm glad I did. I look at the people like, get to cover.
Okay. They're like, okay, thank you. And they rush off to the distance. And then, you zip forward and roll intuition.
Does investigation help with this? Or is
No,
it straight?
just intuition.
That's a, might be a white. I'm not sure. It's not incredible. Oh, it's just a white. I'll bump it up. I'll spend 10 to bump it up so I can see this.
Okay. You are looking around, trying to keep your head on the swivel, and you're caught entirely by surprise as, boom, a heavy iron club strikes you in the middle of the back as you hit the ground, and you look back as standing over top of you, you got hit for 50 points of damage, by the way, is the Basher.
Basher with this stupid pipe.
Yep, and he points his metal baseball bat at you at the ground, and he says, "I knew I'd get you one of these days, Autopsy."
Yeah, well,
So that's 15 damage.
every clown has his day in the sun. Wow. Alright, that's a red for road.
15 put you under.
Yeah, well, did you say 15 or 50?
50 minus your 35, so it should be 15.
Actually, that just puts me under. Because of the nettles, that puts me at -1. Not kidding.
Okay.
Not kidding.
You heroic recovery from the assault of the Basher.
Yeah.
And he looks down at you. Your costume has been just shredded, burnt in a bunch of places. Your hand is ripped up, swollen from the nettles, and now you have this massive bruise and swelling on your back as you've just been smashed in the back with a baseball bat. Your mask is like ripped all the way down. You can see your face at this point in time. You kind of and you get up and you say, like, every thug has his day, as you kind of wobble, and then you take a whiff of a punch as he steps back, and he's surprised that he dodged that as you punched where you thought he was, but then the two of them start to come back together.
Yeah. Okay. What does this guy look like? I don't know. I've never heard this guy.
Okay, so this guy's wearing like all white uniform, except for he's got blue shoes, a blue cape, and a blue domino mask. And he has a big metal bat. It's like oversized.
Alright, so he's just like one of those generic comic book villains.
Yeah, and he's got a belt on with a big B on the middle of the belt.
Yeah. In that shirt, as I'm like kind of like getting ready for him. Tell me something. And I'm actually gonna like get up above him, and I'm gonna use my shoes just to stay out of range of his bat because I don't want to get hit again. And I'm gonna take my shadow powers. Like, what do I want to do? I'm gonna try and blind it. Like enhance the shadows under his eyes so he can't see.
Okay.
I'm gonna say like, what's the deal with absorbing man? Why did he break all you out?
You say that, and you see a lights turn on in his mask, and it dissipates your shadows.
Oh, come on!
Come on, he's fought you before. He definitely he's got something. And he reaches into his utility belt and he pulls out like a flashbang grenade. And he says, I don't know, but I really hate you.
Alright, and then I'm gonna like slam him. I'm gonna get it and slam him and send him flying.
Okay.
Knock him out of here. That's a green.
Alright, so he throws the flashbang down at the same time that you swing at him. Because you guys stopped to talk there for a second. He gets a green, so you boom strike him hard as he is hit, and he flies off to the side, smashes into a car. His suit's padded, so you know he can pull up from this. But he is more or less a normal guy. As he pulls himself up, not looking so great from the blow. Roll endurance.
That's a green.
Okay, you close your eyes and shield him as the flashbang goes off. You're unaffected. You're not blinded or anything by it as you resist. But you have a -1 CS to dodging his attacks this round. He's going to roll for 2 attacks. Gets it.
Oh, nice.
That is a yellow and a red.
Oh, no. This guy's day. This is his day in the sun. Oh, man. Yeah. Pretty sure I'm down.
Alright, first one comes in, you hit it, you block it, dink, against your arm, and push it away. The second one, as he the butt thing comes back, and then the rocket come out, and he swings into you, and it goes right in the chest as you get hit for another 60 points of damage, which puts you out again. Okay, so I was testing out this new rules, and we're going to use it if you want, but you can get additional heroic recoveries by increasing the difficulty every time. So normally it's a green, right? Now it's a yellow.
Okay. Let's try it.
But if you don't make it, you're dead, right? So
Like dead?
you're dying.
Yeah. Oh, green.
Nice. That's a red, right? Or yellow.
Yellow.
But remember, you can spend karma on that. I think you've got 30 still, right?
No.
Yeah. So he strikes you again. The bat hits you. We zoom in and we see like 3 of your ribs break as you flung backwards, smash into a car.
X-ray style.
Yeah, and you pull yourself back up.
Alright, alright. I don't have time for you, dude. At all. Family. I'm gonna slam him again.
As you say that, he says your family's gonna die tonight, Autopsy. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, well, feel this. And I just, like, plow him right in the face.
Green, and
That's a yellow.
he's probably unconscious by then, which is good because he criticaled.
Yeah.
So the first one comes in, and he gets a yellow, and you boom, drill him right in the face, which does 70 points damage. He had 65 left. He goes, smashes into the car, passes out. You come over and tie a lamppost around him.
Yeah, take his bat, throw it in the ocean.
Okay. You sit there for a second and take a breather, and you pass out and wake up an hour. We're gonna say you wake up an hour later. We'll give you. You're badly injured. You're still at the 2 heroic recoveries down, but we'll say you heal. I guess you heal your endurance, really. Which means you get your iron will. We'll just say you get your iron will back, and give yourself 30 hit points. That should be about your endurance, right?
Yeah, that is actually right on. Okay. All right.
Alright. We will we're gonna say your second attack is at a -1 CS because of the broken ribs.
Yeah, that sounds good. I guess he's gonna fly up. He's gonna fly up and see what he can see.
The fighting's still going on. It's looking rough. You see that now that the fires have died down a little bit, it looks like the emergency crews are trying to put them out. The army is trying to move through. Some of the minor gangs are going down. You see there's a section of the city that is dead quiet. There is a number of places that are just, there's a massive, like a stampede of something, like just boom, 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 shaking one section of the city. There's a massive black looking goo covering an area near the docks. You look over to the soccer stadium, and you see the glimmer of something silver standing on the soccer stadium, and there is the construction of a pyramid happening in the middle of the park.
You know what? I don't have the energy to deal with her. Yeah, she's also really freaking tough. Any like, you know what?
Also, while you're zipping around, you see a police unit sliced to pieces.
Like
It looks,
chopped up,
and your investigation tells you it's been very recent. So, those are your options.
Alright.
Since we conveniently recapped your villain cast, I think you can place these people.
I think I can. Alright, we're gonna go to the docks and the Black Slopes. I have nothing for them.
Okay, as you arrive, you see the mutate man, the victim of circumstances, but the horrid personality of the villain known as Sludge, spreading his goop everywhere.
Yeah.
And he looks over as you land.
How much mass does he have?
As he looks over at you land, I don't know. He looks over and he gets his goopy face kind of as he smiles at you and says, "I was waiting on you, Autopsy. They said you'd be here soon."
Yeah, I don't like pollution, man. I like this. It's a nice ocean here.
Yeah.
Keep messing it up.
Yeah, these people have been making me very angry lately, and they're not going to do that anymore. It's very odd. Sludge has normally been a petty criminal kind of guy,
Yeah.
and you see a couple hands sink into the sludge in the water.
So what's noticed? I've noticed the trend is every single one of these guys that talk about just being angry, right? They just had this like crazy rage fuel sort of thing. Because Sludge like stole jewelry. He didn't like kill civilians.
Yeah.
And Basher didn't like me, but he wasn't. We didn't have enough interactions for him to like
Yeah, and he was going. He was also another minor villain, right? But he was going to kill you.
Yeah, he's gonna kill us. Same for Nettleman. And Nettleman was like just gonna kill those civilians. Like that's not.
Well, Nettleman wasn't.
Right.
No, Nettleman was a psycho like that. Before.
Was it just gonna kill people?
Yeah, he was trying to overthrow human supremacy.
Oh, okay. So, alright, I know that something's up. Oh, dark hole. Scroll. Oh no. It got loose in the city. Like it all clicks. As an idea, it clicks. It starts like kind of coming together for Ralph. He's like, damn. I need to get.
That's his working theory, right?
Yeah.
He really doesn't know what the Darkhold does.
But mass hypnotizing and enraging people seems like a pretty good first guess for an evil demonic
Could be.
mind controlling entity.
Yeah.
Oh, strange. I'm gonna well, so is sludge is like all of him? Is all the goo him? Like,
No, he seems to just kind of be turning stuff into goo.
alright, how big are we talking here?
He's not any bigger than normal. He's just gooping up stuff.
Alright, then I'm just gonna catch him in a ball of shadow like I did last time and just like scoop him up. Because he's not very strong, so he can't.
Yeah, he sees what you raise your hand and the shadows start to do it, and he dissipates himself out. And you scoop up a big chunk of him, but then he just kind of absorbs sludge and rebuilds his body off to the side.
Okay.
And
Can I make that?
you realize that you're not going, unless you're able to scoop up all of this, you're not going to be able to contain him like normal.
Then I need someone other than him. I can try and stop him, but I need to find out.
He looks at you and disappears into the sludge for a second, and then he comes up from behind you, and then tries roll intuition. Roll intuition.
Is he tall enough to get into the air? Because I'm like floating above him. It's just a white. I'll spend 10. I'll spend 10 to make it a green.
All right.
Help spend 10 to make it a green. I guess I go ahead and spend 10 to make it a green.
Wait a second.
So what?
So wait a second.
Okay.
No, you don't need to worry about it. As he shoots up from behind you, you're in the air. You're 20 feet up in the air or whatever. There's no tall buildings here, but you had to come down low enough to talk to him. And the sludge is everywhere, so he just kind of comes up out of it, makes himself taller, stretches out, and poof, you're inside of him. And you are suddenly feeling like sludge being forced into your mouth. Roll endurance. And he goes, Autopsy, you're going to die! I hate you! Why would you put me into prison so many times?
Yeah, guess I'll spend.
You and Ironclad never took me serious.
No, it just says like, that's you're made out of sludge. It's just like blah. Alright, so I will, I'll spend the rest of my karma to make that, or,
What did you get?
actually, I got a 12. So I'm trying to see what I need. I need to spend 10 to make it a green.
Okay.
I'll spend 10 to make it a green.
Okay, you're fine as you spit some of it out, but you take 20 points of damage as the sludge spreads apart into your body.
And that's not resisted by body.
Nope. As you like spit him out, you feel like you could just throw your arms, and shatter his grip, but he is all around you. Roll intuition.
Okay. Does anything factor into this?
You can roll your intuition or your shadow powers, because you're in the dark, shadowy area.
Yeah.
There's some light in here.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll use that. It's in yellow.
All right, you using your shadow senses sense something inside a sludge's body.
I grab it, pull it out, use my shadow powers.
Alright, so you make. I'm gonna make you make a fighting roll to see if you can get two actions on this, or because you're gonna have to force your way through his whole body and get down to there with your shadow powers.
Gotcha.
It seems like a tough ask.
You said a fighting roll?
Yeah.
Alright, and I will spend 10 more. This is my last 10. Yeah, I'll spend 10 more to make that also green.
Okay, you get green, which is what you get, and you pull it up, which is good because otherwise you would have taken 20 more damage. And then you throw the fist, and the concussive force goes boof, and it does one of those like shockwave punches, like they do in anime, where like the force goes out and then it goes boom, boom, and it explodes him, he goes as he screams into pain from the force of of his body being dissipated so much.
Cool. What do I knock out of?
And you pull up to your face, there's some sort of stone-looking rectangle. It's strange looking, and it's got a bunch of notches in it.
It's a stone with a bunch of notches in it?
Yeah, it looks something like this without the cross on it.
If I crush it, is it destroyed?
You can't crush it.
Okay. When I pull it out of it, does he change?
He's like, oh. He looks really angry that you punched him real hard, and then he looks around and he goes, oh God. And he looks a little confused, but he doesn't really say anything.
Hey, sludge.
And then he goes, poof, and he reaches his hand back out up towards you. And he goes, you tried to kill me!
No, I did.
That hurt!
This did.
I didn't know I could get hurt! As he tries to punch you.
And I'm just like fly away from him.
You're just gonna leave him here?
If I can catch him in a dome, yeah, I'll catch him. But I think I realize that he's not the priority right now. He's a problem, but he's not the priority. Yeah, I'll try and catch him.
He's still got all that sludge around him.
Oh yeah, that's true. If I charge him and hit him with that's what I'm gonna do. I realize that like the concussive wave kind of hurts him.
So the punch hits you, but it does 35 points of damage.
Boom. And then
And he looks at it and goes, oh no.
and I'll just like shockwave punch him and just like
Yeah, so then you guys come down and you go boom, 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 and then block him away.
yeah.
He's not in a position to sneak attack you again like that, so it's not a lot he could do.
Okay.
Okay, Sludge is out as you contain him in a dark forest dome and leave him for the officers.
All right.
We'll call it there.
Yeah. In fact, what I'd like to do. Yeah, I'm thinking Ralph probably realizes that he needs another breather, but he's gonna look for a radio and try and coordinate with the law enforcement of the army and let them know that someone is controlling the villains. This is their
Yeah, okay. So as you like find police officers, they are watching something on they're looking down at a pool of water. Like stupefied almost. And as you walk up next to him, there is a figure who is huge and muscular. And he says, he's a middle-aged man, and he's carrying a large club. He's got a lion skin coat over top of him, but he's wearing these like long black kind of cloaks, and he's got like a tree limb sort of club that's draped over his back.
Yeah.
And he says to everybody, he says, "Hello, my friends. You may be wondering why I have caused all this, but really, it's just as you all know. Your supposed protector, a man calling himself Autopsy, is truly at fault here, as he has been for many previous things. He is in cahoots with a number of demons and devils, and I have sent a number of entities, these ones you keep here, for good purpose after him. He sounds very eloquent, despite his sort of strangely mixed savage appearance.
Yeah.
Now, the remainder of your people that are with gangs and your little criminal organizations that you all have, no idea how that happened. It just seems that the people here in Ireland have become apt to fall into savagery at the first moment. I would suggest you take good care of that as you can, though I do understand that your friend, once friend, has been connected to some of these gangs. So, maybe he's doing that as well. If you see him and you could catch him, I'd appreciate that. You could just deliver him to that big pyramid. Thank you. And as he steps away from that, you see that he is in some sort of underground cave sort of thing in the puddle of water. And you can see this in any sort of body of water. You turn your head everywhere.
Yeah.
And behind him are tied upon like two or three flat rocks, your mother, your wife, and your son.
Oh man. And what? So you said this guy, he's wearing like a green cape, a lion skin cape.
Yeah, we're gonna go with. I said black, but I think they're like dark green, almost black cloak, and like a robe, and then he's wearing a lion skin cape with a lion's head. It doesn't that doesn't go over his head, but like drips over his shoulder, and it's been tied together. It's like a thing, and he's got a big club.
Like bear skin kind of coat sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's like a belt.
Yeah. Like Craven the Hunter kind of thing.
Yeah. Like a man. What do they call those?
They call them animals.
What do they call those? Well, bandolier. It's like a bandolier, but it's made out of a lion.
Do you have a picture of this guy?
I do not.
Okay. You said he's carrying a tree over his shoulder?
Yeah.
Does that ring any bells whatsoever?
No.
But he sent devils and demons to plague the city.
No. He's suggesting that you did. Yeah. And the police look at you, and you're very I need you to roll. I need you to roll a personality roll.
Hey guys, come on, it's me. Alright. It's green.
Okay. You are very persuaded by his argument, almost to the point that you maybe feel like you should turn yourself in. But you shake your head. You're like, no, I went too far. The other ones look at each other and they're like, you're right. That guy's right. Autopsy is already wanted. Why are we doing all this to protect him? And then that's what they say to each other before they notice you're there.
I'll just kind of slip into the shadows. He's turning the whole city. Who is this man? Evie. And then I look and I'm like,
Okay.
And I think, yeah, I'll end like the Batman kind of like fade into the shadows of the alley.
Yeah, you like holding your shoulder, you slip backwards into the alley.
Yeah.
You're coughing a little bit, right? So we're gonna reduce your endurance by 1 rank.
Let me do that here. Second attack and endurance reduced by 1 rank.
And then your what hit points are you at?
I'm at 24.
Okay. Okay, and I will end the